We're back 1 year later. Welcome back from Los Angeles, Vicki Hamilton tonight.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So once again, Vicki, another Camden shopping trip?
Absolutely, and I bought the same shoes.
The same
Crazy.
green shoes?
Yeah.
Same store?
Yeah. I was so happy that they had them. I wore the other ones out.
So for all of you who don't know who Vicki is, we're going to tell you all about that tonight and tell you about her book and the work she's done throughout the years for bands like Motley Crue, Poison, Guns N' Roses, and many other bands. So welcome back, Vicki, and
Thanks, Gab.
what should we do first? Should we do some... what we didn't do last year is because we did the questions first and not the reading. So Vicki's going to do some reading from some books, and then we got some questions and everything else.
But I'm going to let you guys pick who you want to hear a story about. So how's that?
Which member?
Well, no, it's bands.
All bad.
Yeah. Guns. Good story.
They all said Guns. Is that the band with Ian Beale singing for them? I'm being Vicki. It's normally you. Nothing. So Vicki's gonna do a reading from the book, guys. So these are real life experiences from the mid '80s here. You know, where Tim Churchman go?
All right, so we're doing a gun story. Is that where we're...
Who wants a Guns N' Roses story from Vicki? It's a good story.
All right, this story is from chapter 15. It's called Meet My Roommates, Guns N' Roses. By day, Slash and I would lay out flyers and BAM advertisements. BAM was the most respected free press music magazine of the era. BAM stood for Bay Area Music. The bi-weekly newspaper-style publication was printed and had its roots in San Francisco area before expanding far south to Hollywood and other densely populated areas where the night's clubs were plentiful. Each magazine layout was a full day's work. Slash was a gifted artist and had created the first Guns N' Roses logo, minus the bullets. The bullets were added to the logo later after they were signed to Geffen. After Slash would create the flyers, we would drive to Barbara's Place, the cheapest printing place in Hollywood, which was ironically owned by C.C. DeVille's mother. Small world. At one point, Slash had a friend that worked at a printing place on 3rd Street, and we sometimes were able to get flyers for free. I negotiated us respectable deals for BAM magazine ads too, and I had been a good customer in the past with Poison, Stryper, and Motley Crue. After the full day creating the advertisements and flyers, we still had to get magazine approval before they accepted the publication. BAM allegedly had standards to uphold. I couldn't get the guys in Guns N' Roses to be as proactive as promoting on the streets of Hollywood as Poison was, but I did have a street team in place that would put up flyers and posters for us. Poison and Guns N' Roses hated each other, mostly because they were two of the biggest bands of the era, and the fans created a rivalry. Plus, there was the fact that Slash was in Guns N' Roses and had auditioned for Poison. I also think the mere fact that I worked with Guns N' Roses after working with Poison added a little heat to the situation as well. I would get so annoyed when we would paper the streets to promote upcoming Guns N' Roses show, and the next day all the flyers would be covered up by Poison flyers. They were children that I was working with, not adults. Guns N' Roses were truly inspired as songwriters during this time period and started coming up with some amazing new songs like My Michelle, which was written about their friend Michelle Young, and Rocket Queen, written about Barbie, who I mentioned earlier, famous for partying with the bands and dancing on stage with them. Lastly, my personal favorite, Welcome to the Jungle. This epic told the story of moving to Hollywood and trying to survive at all costs. I could resonate with the message, and I was living that dream. The band began to rehearse at SIR on Santa Monica Boulevard, right in the heart of Hollywood, sandwiched between all the glam hair bands. Here was this slightly dangerous and somewhat out-of-place rock band. The sound was unlike anything out there, and it demanded to be heard. One day my car had broken down, so Howie Huggerman loaned me his beat-up old station wagon to drive the band to rehearsal. On this particular day, the band was in a great mood. The lawyer I had hired to assist Axel with the rape charges had been able to get the charges dropped. The band was elated, and now they knew no one was going to jail. They could move forward with their music careers without this hanging over their heads. With the good news, I was thinking that I would soon have my apartment back, but no one mentioned moving out. My sanity and peace of mind would have to wait. They loaded their gear into the back of the station wagon, and I noticed that there was an Ernie and Bert Sesame Street dolls in the back seat. Don't mess with Howie's kids' toys. We want to return the station wagon the way we found it, I warned the boys. They acknowledged me, and with that, they jumped into the car. Axel smiled ear to ear in the front seat while Izzy, Slash, and Steven rode in the back. I was chatting away about the upcoming shows and the new flyers we needed to create when I noticed the crew in the rearview mirror smiling ear to ear. What's going on? Nothing, Izzy says. So I continued to talk, and then suddenly I smell something burning. What is that? That smell? You better not be burning seats. I look back and I see Ernie and Bert hanging out the window, bouncing up and down, hanging by guitar strings. Ernie's mouth has a lit cigarette in it. Oh my God, I scream. I can't believe you would do this when Howie has been nice enough to loan us this car. Get the dolls in the car now and clean them up. The band were all laughing hysterically. They retracted the dolls back from the windows and dusted them off. However, Ernie's face was clearly scarred for life.
That's the new one. I must have skipped that part, but that's the new one.
I didn't really read the book.
Yes, Vicki, I've been reading the book for 3 years now, have you know?
God. And you're on chapter 2 now?
I'm still learning to read. Right, so yeah, basically, so Vicki is still in the industry, as most of you already know, and she is also working with up-and-coming bands of today's sort of music over in Hollywood and all around the world, in fact. So she, tell us a bit more about what you're dealing with today.
Well, actually, I'm starting a record company called Dark Spark Music, and it is through The Orchard, which is owned by Sony, and putting out my first single with a guy named Damian Sage next month, and yeah. So I have a band called the Tinder Beats from Brooklyn, New York, who just was touring with Richie Ramone, and a band that I really love from South Carolina called Lovely World, and their single, Sabina's in the house, I hear her screaming. Yeah, Lovely World is great, and they're getting a lot of hit on their new video called Do You Feel the Sun, so check them out. And I'm working a glam band called Dag, and a rock guitar player named Brandon Paul, and a band from San Antonio, Texas called the Holy Knives, who are a little like the Arctic Monkeys meets like Chris Isaac or something. But they're very cool too, and they have a new record coming out.
So you open to working with bands here in the UK, should any be, you know, to your liking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love English bands, you know. The Arctic Monkeys are probably one of my favorite bands at the moment, and if you're good, let me hear it.
Right on. Yo, we got any questions here so far? Anybody?
Class is dismissed.
This is the first time I've seen Alexandra lost for fucking words. And you're from New York.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, darling.
Yes, and how much is your book, please? Because I'd really like one.
The book? Yes, the book is £20.
Can't
Save
get 'em
yourself
if
like 23 pounds to ship it if you buy it here tonight.
if you buy it here tonight, it saves me going down the post office, so please do that. I've been doing that shit all week. I know. Anybody else? What we hearing?
So, if where we are now, in 2019, if Guns N' Roses were now rather than then, knowing what you know,
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have worked with them. I would not have lived with them.
My question.
Okay.
Yvonne.
Which one was the most troublesome? Which one was the most mischievous? Which one was the most loveliest?
Okay, well, Axel.
So anyone that didn't hear that, who was the most troublesome, who was the most mischievous, who was the most loveliest?
Axel, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Axel was probably the most difficult, but he could be very sweet as well. But you know, he could be really nice or really not. And when he really wasn't nice, you knew because the color of his eyes even changed. So it was just kind of like get out of the way, you know. I love Slash the most. I mean, he and I have stayed friends, and he's been cool. Steven is lovely. They're all good, you know. It's like they're all different, but they're all good.
They're all children problems.
Well, not so much anymore. I'd like to think they're adults now. Yeah.
So we got anybody else? What's your thoughts on the current tour, Vicki? They did a show last night in Hollywood.
Yeah, they played in Hollywood last night, and my friend Jennifer Perry, who was my roommate during this time period, said they were really good. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's never going to be the same as when I managed
Were
them,
they
but.
the originals?
No, it was the 50-50 one. It's the Oreo lineup.
Yeah.
You know my band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who says tribute bands are bad? Anyway, Mirko, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Go on.
Do you have any special, let's say, news about the new upcoming stuff that they're preparing? You probably heard something that we don't know.
Do you know?
No, not really. I mean, I don't really talk to anyone but Slash, and they kind of keep it under wraps. You know, I didn't even know they were playing the Palladium, so I'm a little out of the loop, I guess.
Did they ever write a song about you?
I hope not.
So apart from in Vicky's book, it also explains apart from working from the bands we mentioned, the aforementioned glam bands of the '80s, Vicky, you also did some work with Johnny Cash, right?
Well, I made a record with Johnny Cash's wife, June Carter Cash, that won a Grammy, and that was probably the pinnacle of my career thus far. It was really lovely, and I'm still friendly with the Cash family, and you know, Johnny Cash, probably the nicest man I've ever met in my life, and June Carter was like a mother to me, so, you know, what's not to love, you know.
We ain't finished yet. So, if anybody's after a book, who's after a book tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, all 5 of you. I wanna sell all of these before we go off the table. Come on.
And the box.
And the box. Yeah, the cardboard box comes free as well. You hide all sorts in there. So yeah, what are your thoughts on bands like Poison and how they're surviving today, and Motley Crue?
Well, I think Motley Crue's done. I mean, unless they like do yet.
I'm filming this for them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if they come back. I don't think they will, but because they signed like a major contract saying that they wouldn't. And Poison is out there doing it. Yeah.
You know, current day Poison, like what they're doing now.
Well, I haven't seen them in 5 years, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're doing the same stick. Yeah.
Is there any bands from the 80s that you wish you would have been involved with but that you weren't?
I almost got involved with Jane's Addiction. I kind of wish I had done that. You know, I thought they were good. I tried to sign Concrete Blonde and the Goo Goo Dolls, who I still love, both of those bands. That's about it. Yeah.
Actually, I have another question. Do you think there's gonna be any other band ever that's gonna get to the same level of fame and songwriting like the one that you have produced and helped coming out?
I think it's a different time in the industry. It's like they call it the long tail theory, where the bands that will be successful will not have like triple platinum records like they used to. I mean, in Guns N' Roses' case, they sold 75 million records. I don't know if that'll happen, or Led Zeppelin, or some of those bands that did that, because it's more of an independent market and it's dealing more with streaming. So, the RIAA standards of how many records you have to sell is pretty high compared to what, I don't even think they gauge it on streaming. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think anybody's getting platinum records for millions of streams, which they should. I mean, I think the laws have to change where streaming is concerned, and also pay the artists more money. I'm all for that.
Absolutely, come on to that.
It's like what most people don't know is that the industry, record companies own streaming services, so it's the way they've managed to control bands again. It's like when downloading and file sharing was the issue, they were very arrogant and thought that it would never take over the record industry. But now that it has, they figured out streaming is a way for them to dominate, and own the bands. So let's not let them own us. Come on.
Absolutely.
Okay, but now, streaming, if you get like 160 million streams, that's about £16,000 for the artist. So how do you think that that's going to be overcome? Because obviously that's not a fair amount of revenue for the artist or band.
Well, we have to challenge it in the courts, I mean, I know that they are, and they're trying to bring the rate up. It's something like 0.0007 per stream, how about 25 cents or something, something doable. Like in the olden days, in my day anyway, there would be like 13 points per record, and 1 point would be worth like 13 cents. So, give an artist a point or two, on an album's worth of material, I think. That would be fair.
Wow. Anybody else? We got questions here. Come on. No? Wow, we do have a shy crowd tonight.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, listen, we're gonna wrap up now, but we do have books on sale. You want to hear more about this and what Vicki does and everything that she's about, and maybe get some tips off a legend here. Come see us, and she's signing the books and all that stuff. So we hope to meet some of you later on.
Thanks,
Everybody, Vicki Hamilton. Right up after this, we got an amazing man called India. We got any people from here tonight? And of course, following up, we got Metalworks and a special version of Metalworks this Sunday. We got some special guests. H from Dizzy Lizzy, and even Angry Nile is on his way down. Not to mention the legendary Parsons are back in the house. Give it up for Dan and Steve here tonight. Thank you very much, Alex. So, if you all want to come and get a book, we're gonna Vicky's gonna be standing up here. So if you all want to get a book, everybody come up. Thank you very much. DJ, play some music.